Looking for more accurate cross cuts or miter cuts but don't want to fork out the cash for a miter saw? Here's a quick tip on how you can make a couple of common cuts using tools you probably already own and aren't expensive to acquire. If this is your first time with Pro Tool Reviews, thanks for clicking on our video. And if you like what you see, hit that subscribe button to help us keep making more tool tip and product review videos like this one. Now, if you don't have a trailer full of professional level tools, you can still make perfect 45-degree and 90-degree cuts in lumber using a circular saw, a rafter square, along with a tape measure and a pencil. Now start by measuring out where you want your cut to be and mark it on your board. For a 90-degree cut, just mark it anywhere along the width of the board. For a 45-degree, you're going to mark on the edge, and just make sure you know if you're marking the shorter edge or the longer tip. It depends on what you're building, but we almost always mark the longer measurement. Even before the saw comes out, a rafter square is going to help you make a more accurate cut by giving you a straight edge to make your mark along. For 90 degrees, it's really simple. Just line it up and mark straight through the mark that you made with your tape measure. For the 45-degree miter, just keep in mind whether you mark the short end or the long end. And when you line up your square, if it happens to be going the wrong direction, just flip it around and you'll get the correct angle. Now that you have perfect marks, you can make the cut freehand if you like, but using your rafter square as a guide will make it even more accurate. You need to account for the offset on the circular saw's shoe. Now, the easiest way to do that is to set your square and your circular saw on the board and then slide both pieces until you can see the saw's blade actually touching the cut line you made. Holding the square firmly in place, pull the circular saw back just a hair so that the blade isn't touching the wood, pull the trigger and let that blade spin up to full speed, and then make your cut as you lightly put pressure against the square to keep it on track. Now, if we take a second to check the cuts we just made, we can see with the square that we really did make a 90 and a 45-degree cut. Depending on whether your saw is blade left or blade right and how you're most comfortable cutting, you may run into an issue where the motor housing hits the edge of the square. To deal with that is pretty simple. Just adjust the height up a little bit and you should clear it while still being able to make a full depth cut in 2x material. There are some limitations with this method. Number one is that the rafter square is only going to let you make 90-degree and 45-degree cuts. Now, it will let you mark other angles than those, but it's a lot harder to hold it in place and still make an accurate cut. Then there's the cutting depth. Most 7 1/4 inch circular saws are going to cut to 2.5 inches deep, and that's plenty to get through 2x material. Even a 6.5 inch circular saw will make that cut. But in order to go through 4x, you need some bigger circular saws, and those do exist, but you really want to have both hands on the material. You don't want to be holding on to a square on the side. Finally, there's the size of the square itself. A typical 7-inch square will let you cut up to 2x8 material, but if you want to do up to 2x12, you're going to need to use a 12-inch square. The good thing is that neither one of these are very expensive, and you can get quality models like these from Empire Level for less than $20 each. If you have any questions or feedback for us, feel free to leave that in the comments below, and as always, thanks for watching.
Hey, help us out by subscribing to the channel below and tap that bell to get notified when we post new tool reviews and shootouts. And as always, thanks for watching.